Tracking Idalia.
First tonight at 11, we are taking a look at the latest update to the path of Hurricane Idalia as it approaches the Florida coast.
First Alert Chief Meteorologist Bill Walsh joining us. And Bill, what does this newest update just in a moments ago, what is it showing us?
Yeah, we're talking about a Cat 4 hurricane when it makes landfall around the Big Bend. This storm has been dropping in pressure quite rapidly. Now we're into a rapid intensification. I mean, look at the signature right here. Look at that structure of that storm. The eye wall now complete. There's very strong CDO, central dense overcast around the center. Again, we're watching the pressure drop. You can just clearly see how large it is. And again, it is moving up toward the Big Bend area of Florida. Going to be a major strike for them. And it could be a little more powerful when it gets up here. And I'm going to show you why here in a moment. Let's take this full outside and you can see what it looks like now, pushing just to the west of Tampa, Florida. And it is pushing a lot of water on up into parts of Florida as we speak with the storm surge. But the structure of the storm, as I mentioned, you can clearly see that eye right there. And the pressure has continued to drop. And this is the radar signature. Again, look at all those rain bands moving now on into Florida. We are looking at the storm continuing to work its way up toward the Big Bend. Already seeing rain showers moving out of Jacksonville back on into southern parts of Georgia, and that's going to continue to work their way north during the overnight hours. All right, we are borderline Category 3. If it gets to 111, it's a Cat 3, but we are a strong Cat 2 right now. Again, the pressure has continued to drop a little bit. Max winds at 110. Forecast track on the storm. I want to get on this side because this is something we've been watching. All right, making landfall, 130 mile an hour Cat 4. Remember, Hugo was 135 mile an hour Cat 4. This is not going to be too far from that as far as strength. Then it moves up over southern Georgia. And look at this, right along the Savannah River, still a hurricane. This is tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. So still a hurricane. So that's something we're watching. It's going to take a while for this to wind down. So it's going to move right across South Carolina coastal counties, again, as a borderline hurricane, strong tropical storm. And again, this is by, say, Thursday morning, continuing to pull away, still 60 mile an hour storm as it pushes off to the north and east as we make our way on into Thursday itself. So again, making landfall as a Cat 4, coming up our way as a Cat 1, as a diminishing Cat 1, but still it is showing that it's going to be pretty strong. So a couple of changes to the warning posture. These are the tropical storm warnings in effect from really the North Carolina border all the way south. Now we are looking at tropical storm warnings for Orangeburg County and Clarendon County out across the Midlands. And in fact, we have tropical storm watches all the way to Columbia with this storm. So again, you can see the change in that watch posture. Also, we've got the storm surge watch. Again, the flooding could be a problem. 8:24 tomorrow night, 8.3 foot, tide. That's because normally flooding starts at 7, but when you push that wind against it, could see that really push up, and of course 2 to 4 feet of storm surge water inundation above dry land. So we'll watch that, and this hasn't changed. Hurricane watch continues for Edisto Beach south and along the coastal waters because, again, we could be borderline hurricane as far as the wind speed. All right, look at this. This is where the sweet spot is for the most rain because the track is just a little bit further inland. It's going to be a big difference between on the beach and back inland. You could see maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3 inches on the beach and up to, say, 6 to 8 inches back inland. So again, that on top of the high tides, and then when you drive that wind in here, that's going to push that tide up. This is going to be tomorrow evening around 8:30. Look at this as the center of the storm comes up and over us again by, say, late tomorrow night into early Thursday. Some pretty gusty winds, and again, up and over tropical storm force up to even low hurricane force possible. Very warm water temperatures, so again, we'll have to watch that because it's over warm water now, upper 80s to near 90, and that's the high octane fuel for these storms. So bottom line, the impacts, damaging winds, moderate. We may actually move that up toward a high, definitely flooding, storm surge. Tornadoes, yeah, the possibility, a moderate, but we're north and east of the center, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Well, more on this, more on the impacts. Bottom line, just prepare for a strong tropical storm, a lot of heavy rain, some flooding, and certainly some gusty winds. More on this in just a few minutes. Michael.
All right, thank you, Bill. And of course, our First Alert meteorologist will be staying on top of this. As soon you can download the Live 5 weather app. There you can stay up to date as Idalia nears the South Carolina coast.